Hello and welcome to MrG Live with some beer. And this will be my first live stream in front of the camera, just chatting and not doing a computer game whilst chatting. So that makes a change. So, who do we have in the chat? Well, at the moment it just looks like summer. Hope you're doing well, Summer. And yeah, I understand what you mean about the lawn because I've got to do mine tomorrow at some point. Maybe when it's the afternoon because the sun doesn't shine on the front garden and it won't be so hot to cut it then. But it's definitely looking like a jungle out there. Oh. Right, so who else do we have? Well, it just looks like it's just you and me. Alright, anybody else going to be doing some chatting? So yes, welcome to my no, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Tuesday stream. I would have done Friday, but Hatman's got that territory, and he normally does Saturdays now as well. So I thought I'll do a Tuesday and have some beer. Got myself a little Tring beer. Now, oh yeah, I was going to put some music on, wasn't I? I hope you guys can hear that. Beautiful weather here today, so I think I better do it before the rain. Yeah, it's actually been nice, nice weather in the UK for the last couple of days because our summer's been absolutely dreadful, to be honest. And I think really the last few days have been really nice, and we've actually got a nice day tomorrow, so it'll be a good day to do the garden tomorrow. So, how hot is it then, Summer, and where you currently are? Oh. Let's see if I can actually make that a bit larger. No, that's help if I get the right one. Come on, oh, because it's still locked. Let's make myself look a bit bigger. It's all new, so you have to bear with me. Yeah, I hear of obviously the hurricane. Is it Ada? That's been obviously raging across the some of the American states right now. That's been terrible for some people. I can't remember whereabouts you were. If the music's too loud, let me know and I'll turn that down a tad. So yeah, obviously this is my first live stream. I thought I've gone live streaming, or decided I might do some live streaming because I got better broadband connection now. I've got fibre, so at least now hopefully that'll keep my stability. But I haven't been uploading much lately for a couple of reasons, because in between last video, which was yesterday, and the previous one, which was 2 months ago, I just haven't had the motivation for a couple of reasons. One, COVID, because I just didn't feel like basically coming home, writing the script, filming it and so forth, and I just think my motivation went out the window, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it has been, I think it's probably hurt a lot of people mentally and creative-wise. It's not been as good for people. And unfortunately, the other reason is I've not been very well lately, because a couple of weeks ago I had a bad angina attack. So that was another reason why I thought I didn't want to, excuse me, I didn't want to end up recording stuff, because I would just, excuse me, I needed to recuperate. Because unfortunately what I had was like having a mini heart attack. But fortunately it wasn't a heart attack, it was an angina attack. So, but obviously I've got to do tests for that and take it easy. So yeah, my content because of that has suffered because of those two reasons. However, since Hurricane has either blown through, it really cooled down. Music is fine. Right now, it's around 78 Fahrenheit here today. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not too bad a temperature. Hi Tim, hope you're well. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I've got to do a couple of tests. I've had an ECG last Tuesday, and I've got to do a blood test this coming Monday for the cholesterol. So yeah, it's going to be I think the next few weeks there's going to be a lot of tests now, really, to see obviously what they can do and they can get treatment for what I've got. But it was very scary, not surprisingly. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Obviously there are moments when I do feel a bit rough, and when I do feel a bit rough, I've got to take this under my tongue. So yeah, it's been a strange few weeks for me, really. With that going on, because I was in work, I went to work, everything was normal. I just logged onto my computer screen, and all of a sudden I just felt this sort of like stabbing pain in the centre of my chest, and then it sort of radiated up to just under my jaw. I got strangeness down my left arm, and I started feeling sweaty, clamming, just not feeling right. So I got someone to call, obviously the emergency, the first aiders, and they got an ambulance, and that whole day was just a very, very scary day. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's when you're going through that, I think you also go into panic mode, and that kind of elevates everything up off the scale. Fortunately, when I got to the hospital, I kind of did, I think, calm down a bit. And they did give me some morphine, which is always the best thing, because that's like being pissed without the alcohol. Yeah, I'm hoping these next tests will basically get them to know where I am, and hopefully get some treatment. Changing the subject a little bit, you may notice I've gone back into the old corner for my stream. Yeah, you got to love the old morphine. The thing is, first time I had an angina attack, I was 32, and they said at the time, "Oh, do you want something for the pain?" And I went, "Oh, yes, please." And then she said, "We're going to give you some morphine, but don't worry, it's going to kick in straight away." And my brain went, "Yeah, of course it is. I know exactly how fast painkillers are, and they don't take straight away." Literally within 30 seconds of her giving it to me, it was like, poof, the whole room dizzy, and it was the same this time, but this time they didn't even ask. They said, "We're going to give you some morphine." So I went, "Oh, okay." So yeah, it was a very, very strange situation. So yeah, I had to have the whole day in the hospital. Obviously, they wanted to keep me under observation, but because the blood test come back that I hadn't had a heart attack, and I think that's the thing. It was a case of that. I think now they only keep you in if they're just like really concerned, and I think that's the thing. It was a case of, because I hadn't had a heart attack, they let me go. It is amazing actually how fast that kicks in. I think it's because it's injected into the blood. It's literally within a minute. You literally start feeling the whole room spinning. It is like being pissed without alcohol. And yeah, I mean, you do feel better. I mean, the pain did subside a bit. I mean, yes, I still had discomfort, obviously, but it was sort of like it does lessen the impact a bit. And yeah, so am I, because I'm glad I didn't have a heart attack, because unfortunately my father passed away many, many years ago from a massive heart attack, and I think that's always in the back of your head, that this is going to be something, when it happens, it's happening to you, and you just think, "Oh shit, I'm going to die now." And the thing is, when you're there in a hospital and you say to them, "Oh, you're like 52," and they go, "Well, you are in the vulnerable age," and you think, vulnerable age? I'm only 52 years old. I mean, really? But yeah, so hopefully that'll be all sorted out very, very shortly. And like I said, I got a blood test on Monday for cholesterol, so hopefully that'll be okay, because I don't really fancy going on to a diet situation. So yeah, I think the thing is, I think it's like the doctor said. At the end of the day, even though I wasn't having a heart attack, it's better that I was there, getting, in hospital, because at the end of the day, there actually is. It's better you being there and it's not a heart attack than you not being there and it is a heart attack and you're dead. So yeah, and yeah, I am still young. I mean, 52 is not an age I think is old. I mean, I know people call me old, and some people call me granddad, but it's like 52 is not old. I mean, that's the new middle age now. I mean, inside I still feel 21. I mean, the only difference is my body just goes, no, you're not, because I've got the backaches. Aches that never used to be. It takes me longer to recover from alcohol abuse now, but inside I still like the same things I did back then. I mean, I still like the same music, I still like the same stuff on TV, roughly what I was watching back then. So I think at the end of the day, I mean, the only difference between me and the 21-year-old is I'm probably wiser than the 21-year-old, more cynical than the 21-year-old, and I've got more experience, because you learn a lot of stuff, But yeah, I mean, the thing is, inside I still feel that kind of, that age. I can relate to, obviously, how 21-year-olds feel. But the difference is, obviously, I've got sort of like 30 odd years on top. I don't. I give these people hell for you when I see. I know you do, and I'm glad to actually sort of like stick up for me. And it's nice actually. I do have sort of like the fans that do actually give the care about my content and like my content, and it's always appreciated. It's just that sometimes you do get some right trolls on the channels, and I think that's the downside of doing YouTube videos. Excuse me. And I think it's something, unfortunately, we have to put up with. Excuse me, as creators. Yeah, it's quite busy this beer. It's unusual. But yeah, it's very appreciated of all the things that you do. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So it's a case of, that's why one reason why I've not been around was obviously the angina attack, and I think COVID just kind of really knocked me for six for sort of like that mentality. It's kind of, you just go to work, you come home, and you just think, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to sit down tonight and do a script or do some editing or stand up in front of a video. And I think that's the thing at the moment. I think my motivation had just gone out the window. I mean, yes, I did a video the weekend just gone, and obviously it went live yesterday, and it was actually nice to get up in front of the camera again. And I think hopefully now I will start getting a motivation to probably do more subjects again. And it is nice, really, because obviously I get a lot of support from people like yourself. I mean, the sub base now is not too bad, so I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I'm slowly getting there. I think, though, unfortunately, it is a case of because I haven't been updating, my watch time is probably a bit lower than it should have been. But I think that's the thing. I think COVID, unfortunately, is something that I think it does affect people's mental health. And yeah, you're right, Tim. I get fed up with people not taking it seriously as well. I mean, especially now. I mean, I went to work this morning on the train, and even though you're in a coast base, I still wear the mask. It's amazing how many people don't wear the masks on trains, and you think, come on, guys, at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt you have the cloth on, It's not going to hurt you, and you're looking out for other people. And I think that, and I think, to be honest, I think that's the thing. It's especially the attitude. I've seen some social media where you look at some people just saying, "Oh, people are sheep because they're wearing the masks," or "People are sheep because they're getting the vaccines." No, at the end of the day, I think wearing a cloth over your face is not a sheep. It's a case of you're just actually looking at other people. getting a vaccine is you're looking out for yourself and you're looking out for people around you. I mean, imagine how many diseases we'd still have if we didn't have vaccines in the world. I mean, our parents had the polio vaccinating, so that basically was something we didn't have to worry about as kids. And it was the same with measles, mumps, those kind of things have eventually have been sort of wiped out. Definitely affects our mental state. I still wear a mask where I have too many health risks. Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, Summer. And I'm the same. If I'm on a train, I put my mask on. If I go into a bar, if I go to the up to the bar itself, I'll have my mask on because I'm looking after the people doing the serving. It's only right. It's not a case of you being a sheep. It's a case of you just doing your bit. At the end of the day, in a year's time, if someone said, "Look, that piece of cloth didn't do anything. It didn't actually help the spread, help stop the spread." At least I say to myself, the only person that was inconvenienced were the people that wore the masks. Now, in a year's time, they turned around and said, yes, scientifically it was proven that the masks did actually help reduce the spread. I've done the right thing. And those are the people that haven't done the right thing have actually cost lives. And I think that's what you've got to think about. It's a case of, it's not going to be forever, and it's only just wearing a cloth occasionally when you're going into a shop, you're going downtown, you're going on a train. Why does it hurt? I mean, I sometimes go to London and it's like an hour's journey. If there's people around me, I have no problem having that mask on for an hour, a couple of hours if I'm also going on the tubes. I mean, it's just absolutely shocking that the people I've seen, who's just like, I'm not going to wear a mask because we don't know wearing masks now on public transport. You're thinking, yeah, I know you don't have to, but isn't it the right thing to do? And hi, Mercy B, it's nice of you to drop down. Drop in. Even some people don't wear underwear, and you expect them to wear a mask. I feel a bit odd when I'm the only one not wearing a mask. I just actually, my attitude is, yes, I do see people wearing masks, but I think myself, I don't want to be like them. I'd rather just actually do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And yeah, I mean, like I said, if I'm sitting obviously in a pub, obviously with my mates, then obviously I'm not going to be wearing a mask. But as soon as I get up to go to the toilet or I go to the bar, I'll put the mask on because I'm walking through an environment. I mean, I don't know if I got COVID because the first couple of days you don't have any symptoms. And people seem to forget that is that, yes, okay, sooner or later, if you've got COVID, they will manifest themselves. But the first couple of days that you've got them, you could be spreading that disease onto the people that are in your close vicinity, though, your workmates, the people on trains, the people on buses, the people in pubs. And the thing is, surely it's better to do the right thing at the end of the day, I'm glad you guys agree with me that and that you guys are also doing the right thing because, as I said, the amount of idiots I've seen on TikTok and Facebook, on YouTube, I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. It's the attitude that where people just keep saying, "Oh, COVID's a hoax." Really? So what? Every single world leader got together and they got all the doctors and nurses of the world together and said, "Look, we're going to have this hoax. And we're going to basically, to control people. So can you keep the secret?" I mean, surely, if it was a hoax, there'll be one leader, i.e. a person like Trump, that wouldn't keep his mouth shut. So, come on. It's just ridiculous when you just see things like, oh, it's the new world order to keep people controlled. And the vaccines, they're only there to put tracking devices in you. Really? You are actually worried about tracking devices being put in you when you actually have something that tracks you every single day of your life, and that's just your phone. And it's just ridiculous that there are people out there that have got this mentality. It's ridiculous, and I think that's the thing in this world where you've got access to all this information and people are still stupid. Oh, that's ridiculous, Tim. I know someone, actually, this is no lie. I worked with someone when the vaccines were coming out. He said, "I'm not taking a vaccine." And I said, "Why not? Why aren't you going to take the vaccine?" "Well, it changes your DNA." I mean, what? I mean, a vaccine doesn't change your DNA. That's not how it works. I mean, if that was the case, we'll all be X-Men. I mean, really? I mean, yeah. I mean, I do. Oh, hello, Michelle. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Good evening, Lord G, and thanks for letting us into your only home tonight. Yeah. It's not often I actually It's not often I open my house to everyone. It's usually a news background, or it's obviously all hell, as it was last video. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Someone actually in my section thought it was going to change his DNA. I mean, how stupid have you got to be to think that a vaccine changes DNA? That's not how vaccines work. I mean, these people, all they have to do is go on the internet, and research isn't that hard. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, and it is. I mean, some of the comments I have actually seen, just like make me go, what? You know. It's not a hoax. My mother was in hospital for 2 weeks with it. Husband and a great aunt got lucky. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. Summer, that must have been very, very worrying for you. Because the thing is, people just don't seem to realise how bad it is until it affects them. And even then, I think some people just think, oh no, it's only flu. And you think it's not flu. It's nothing like flu. You know. Excuse me. I mean, yes. People die for flu, and no one's saying they don't. But this wasn't flu. I mean, normally you would see flu, you know, during the winter months. I mean, this has been going on now, well over, you know, 15 months, 16 months. And I just can't understand where people's mentality is for people's mentality. You know, it's just because the thing is, I mean, obviously I've been lucky that I haven't had COVID yet, but I know people have had. In my section, we've had 3 people that come down with it, and because of it I had to self-isolate because I had close contact with them, but luckily I was okay. And the first thing they say, it just completely knocks that person for 6. And it's not just the getting the COVID, it's that long COVID, because it takes like 7 weeks to recover, maybe months to recover after when you had it. And I think because they haven't had the COVID, they think, oh, it's fake. It's there they want to control people. I mean, what kind of people? What kind of government would want to see their finances just tank because I'm saying, oh, they want to control us. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised him, because at the end of the day, I mean, people just been saying you got that. Obviously, the initial COVID infection, and you've got the long COVID infection, and I don't think people seem to realise actually how bad, when you get it, how bad it's going to be. And I think that's the thing. It's just I just don't understand why people just are blasé about the whole thing. It's shocking, to be honest. And I do wish you well, mate, and I hope you do feel better soon. And obviously it's going to be a struggle, and I hope anyone who has been infected by it get well soon, because yeah, I mean, it's a horrible situation that we're in right now, to be honest. And I just hope it gets sorted. Nice to see your reset button. Thanks for dropping in. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, since it started, I've been one of those jobs that we weren't furloughed. I had to go into work from day one. It was amazing actually how quiet the whole factory, the whole thing was, because getting on transport, there was hardly anyone on trains. It was like when you walked down the street to your workplace, it was like one of those horror zombie movies, like apocalypse. You wouldn't see anyone. It's like you'd be walking around going, hello, and Litter would just be sort of like coming over, and now it's amazing actually. I mean, I went on a train this morning, and it's probably the busiest I've seen it on public transport for months. You know, because obviously now people are slowly coming back from working from home, and yeah, it's finding it's very a lot harder to get a seat where you've got a space between you and somebody else. You know, so obviously, you know, we're going to end up obviously back to a normal situation, but obviously still got to be cautious, you know, if you like. Yeah, and I think, I mean, obviously, eventually things are slowly opening up. I mean, obviously you've got sporting events now being opened up, and eventually, obviously, travel will go back. It's just that, I mean, when I was at the doctor's last Tuesday looking for the ECG, the nurse said that a lot of the 50 pluses are going to have a booster, but unfortunately they don't know when the booster's going to come, because obviously the government hasn't made a decision yet, and they got to obviously at some point got to sort out the flu vaccines, so they're going to be snowed under with the COVID and vaccine and boosters and the flu, and the thing is, it is ridiculous, and you know, our government can't even get this sorted out by now. You know, I mean, nobody knows what's going on. It's just, it is ridiculous, you know, and I'm so glad I don't have to use public transport. I to be honest, I think there were times when I wish I could drive, because then I would have just not have used public transport during this obviously pandemic situation. I mean, I know people that normally commuted by train that were just driving in, because they just thought it was safer for them to travel into work via their cars, you know. But I don't have that luxury because I can't drive. And the thing is, as I said, I mean, I get a crowded train now coming home, that I do again if I find it very hard sometimes to get a seat. Hello, MrG, it's formerly the Bunny Gavin. Hello, Bunny. Hope you're well. Well, not too bad, not too bad. I mean, as I said earlier, at the start of the stream, I've sort of like, I suffered an angina attack a couple of weeks ago, and obviously COVID's kind of like affected my mental health a little bit. I would, if you was living in the country, I wouldn't say no to being you being my chauffeur, but obviously you're over there and I'm over here, so that's maybe when I win the lottery and I've got a couple of millions, I'll hire you as my chauffeur. Chauffeur, yes. Sean Connery. Hope you're well too, Bunny. Hope things are good for you. She's Thorny's gathering. Summer. So yeah, I just think, yeah, it's nice that things are slowly moving back, but I think we've got to be very, very careful that we don't rush everything back too soon. Yeah, I mean, yes, obviously we want it to end. I mean, next year I want to go travelling again, and it would be nice to actually do some city breaks. But obviously, right now I don't feel comfortable flying on an airplane to another country, or even going on the Eurotunnel to France or Belgium. But yeah, I mean, I would like to go travelling again. I would love to go back to the States, because there's still some places I would like to see there. I like to do some things on my bucket list, you know, Rome and so forth. So yeah, I mean, obviously not spending my money the last 15 months. I am slowly getting a nice little sort of like bank balance, and it'd be nice to sort of spend some money next year when I'm able to and have some sort of seat breaks. Yeah, Bunny is Thorny's gathering summer. So yeah, and the thing is, another thing I've missed is not been doing plays and with the theatre group, because obviously they couldn't operate during the COVID, and obviously they've slowly got rehearsals going and productions going. That hopefully I intend to do an audition within the next few months, and hopefully get back and doing the stage stuff again. Because that's something I've really missed. I mean, the last play I did was 2 Decembers ago, and you do miss that kind of sort of like, you know, that little magic you get with other people when you're rehearsing with them, and you get that magic of doing a show together. And I think that's something I've really missed. And I think the thing with COVID, I think a lot of us have missed our activities that we normally would do. Because what I found myself doing is I'll go to work, I'll come home, and I'll put either a game on or I'll put Netflix on or Amazon on, and so yeah, I'll end up just streaming something, you know. And I used to have a big social life. I used to get out, and I'd go out with my mates to go pubs. I would meet a few mates once every month. You know, I would go out there. I would do plays. I would go travelling, and all those kind of things just all of a sudden overnight got taken away from you. And I think most of us just walked around in a complete daze because, you know, we didn't know what was going on. And I think the thing is, if it wasn't for the streaming services, you know, with like your Netflix, your Amazons, and in some sense YouTube, and now obviously Disney Plus, I think a lot more people probably would have felt even more sort of depressed than what we already were. I mean, it was actually nice to actually get through and watch some TV series. I mean, I probably saw more TV series in the last 15 months and films that I normally wouldn't have sat down and watched. I mean, I've practically watched all of those so far. I'm obviously waiting for the new series to come out on Friday. I've watched The Boys, which I totally recommend if you've got Amazon Prime. The Man in the High Castle. I mean, all those things I've been watching. Queen's Gambit. I mean, I thought was a marvelous series, and if you haven't seen it, it's worth a look. I was even going into work, and we were talking obviously about the streaming, and people were recommending things, and we were like swapping ideas of things to watch. And because of it now, I've got a few things. Obviously, I can't wait to watch the next series, because, you know, it's something that's added onto the stuff. I mean, to be honest, out of TV, I don't hardly see anything broadcasted now. I actually watch most of my TV through the streaming services. I've caught up with Paw Patrol. Kids have dibs on the TV. Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you've got kids, obviously you have to cater for what your family's tastes are. I mean, I don't have children, so I can put whatever I want on. Excuse me. Well, I was quite fortunate, buddy. I got into sort of like owning Netflix the last 3 years, so I still got a lot of stuff I still haven't seen yet. I mean, I still haven't got round to watching Stranger Things yet, and that's on about, I think, the third, fourth series, I think. So I'm actually quite lucky. I've still got certain things that I've not bothered watching yet, and I think it's something I'm going to actually get around to watching sooner or later. But I don't know. I think sometimes because in the past I've been tricked into kind of, you're watching something and it's been cancelled. Sometimes now I like to think I'd rather catch something when I know it's got either a final or it's been running several years, and then I can sort of like think, right, I can concentrate on these episodes, and then I've got a lot more to watch. Saying that, though, there are obviously some series that started off really well, and they did unfortunately pan out near the end and were very disappointing endings. You know, and I think that's the thing with some I suppose the gamble you make when you commit yourself into a streaming thing. But yeah, there are so many things I still haven't got, and every time I go on Netflix, it goes, "Oh, would you like to like to watch this?" And you go, "Okay, I'll add that to the list." Prison Break back in the day, yeah, I watched that up to the season before last, because obviously how it ended, I was quite satisfied of how the ending. So when I heard it come back, I thought to myself, no, you're just milking it now, because you just destroyed what you did with that ending, and I just had no interest in watching the follow-up series. So as far as I'm concerned, Prison Break finished on, effectively in my eyes, that season 5. I think it was season 5. No, it was season 4. Season 4 is in my mind how it ends. Because how I heard how they brought it back, I'm thinking, no, you destroyed everything of how that perfect ending was. And it was the same when years ago I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and at the end of season 5, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but they killed off Buffy, and I thought, that is a perfect way to end her run, and then all of a sudden they brought her back to life in season 6, and I thought to myself, yes, I'm watching this now because I'm a fan, but you destroyed everything that you had about that ending of that particular season. And I think sometimes I really wish they wouldn't do that. I think if you finish something, that's it. It's annoying that they think years later, oh, we're going to milk this and we're going to bring it back. No, it's end it how it was meant to be ended. It's a perfect ending to the series, and that's why I won't touch the last series of Prison Break, because to me, it's yes, maybe it's a case of one day I will, but then I'll probably regret it. So I just want to stick to that. No, this is how I want the story to end. Tell me what the hell happened. Oh my god, I've been wondering where you were. I'll have to go research and get caught up. So yeah, it does annoy me when sometimes they bring back series when after the event, and I think they kind of destroy everything that made that series magical, you know, and or sometimes they go on too long. I mean, I love Stargate SG-1, but I think the last 2 seasons when Richard Dean Anderson left, I just don't think it was as strong, and I really wish they had just ended it on the season 8. I mean, yes, some of the stories were good in season 9 and season 10, but it didn't have that magic that it once had, and I think that's the thing sometimes, is that they tend to go, you know, too far. I mean, and yeah, I totally agree, Bunny. I mean, the Alien franchise, I mean, the first 2 films I think are excellent. All the ones after that, I just think the whole series just goes down. Terminator is another series where Terminator 1 is a brilliant movie, Terminator 2 is a brilliant movie. After that, again, the franchise just spirally just goes straight down. And I think myself, why are we still making those kind of films? You know, Arnie's old now. Arnie shouldn't be in any more Terminator films. I mean, the guy is 70 plus. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're going to have a Terminator film, let's do it without Arnie. And let's wrap up the series. Let's actually have a finite, this is how the series ends. Because it's just getting to a point where they're jumping on the bandwagons every single time now. And the thing is, I mean, I heard, obviously, they don't want to do another Alien film, and it's like, really? You know? I mean, yeah, actually, I finished Sopranos recently. I actually got round and went through the entire 6 seasons of Sopranos, and obviously I wasn't sure how I would feel about a prequel film. But when I saw the trailer, and the guy who plays, obviously, the young Tony, who was actually the actor's son playing Tony, I actually think myself, yeah, I think actually this could actually work, you know, because I think it's done by the same writers, so they obviously totally understand the work, and yeah, I am quite happy to give the Saints of Newark or something. Yeah, I mean that looks actually quite an interesting sort of premise. I mean, I think I finished season 6 about a month or so ago, and I was quite happy. Again, I enjoyed the ending. I know obviously there was a controversy of how people felt the ending was, but I thought the ending to actually Sopranos actually made sense. It was actually up to the viewer to decide how they thought what happened. Yeah, Many Saints and Newark, that was it. I couldn't think what its name was. And again, it's amazing how many well-known actors and actresses are actually in that film. And it'd be interesting to see where they go with the story, because obviously they're going to do the film, and obviously if it's a success, they will have more of a prequel set up to obviously then season 1 of Sopranos. And so yeah, I think if you're gonna do something, and it's like, don't obviously piss all over your people's franchise. I mean, either obviously like Sopranos, they have to do a prequel, you know, or if you're gonna reboot the series, do it where it's going to be interesting, you know, and you know, and I think yeah, it's the Sopranos one is definitely something I'm looking forward to. It's it'd be interesting to see, obviously, because obviously obviously season 1 he's obviously a mob leader of his family, so it'd be interesting to see his journey from him starting out as the kid, and going down that path. David J said the only way we would do another is do a prequel, even earlier prior to Many Saints Anew. And I think, I think really it'd be interesting to see the story about his father, Uncle Junior, and all those people that you were familiar with in that series, and where they were obviously before you got to meet them in series 1. So yeah, I don't often, obviously at the moment, I've not been going to the cinema because of obvious reasons, but I think there's a few films I'm actually will take myself off to the cinema, and I would happily go and watch the prequel in the cinema, because, like I said, I got through the 6 seasons, and it is a very good. It's very good, and it's worth watch if you've never seen it. I mean, I've watched it through the Sky box sets. And so yeah, I think it's one of those films I'm definitely going to go to the cinema to watch. There's the new Bond film when that comes out. I think it's October, and obviously I'll give the Spider-Man film a go. His father and Uncle Junior in this one. I think actually his father I think is being played by the guy who was the Punisher in the Netflix series. I can't think of what his name is at the top of my head. And obviously, it's got a lot of people of how they set obviously up, how the family gets set up, or how the family basically is before obviously Tony comes, how it becomes in the series. And it's like a couple of years ago. I mean, when it first came, the old idea of when it first was coming out, the Joker being made, I thought, oh god, no, I don't want to see a Joker Origins movie. And it's amazing, actually, when I did finally go and see it in the cinema, I'm going to admit I was totally wrong, and I really enjoyed how they told the story. The guy who played the main character who turns into the Joker, I think he was absolutely brilliant. Joaquin Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix was obviously the guy, and I think it sometimes I think in our heads we get this idea, oh, I'm going to hate this situation. Just saw your question, were you a fan of Breaking Bad? To be honest, I've never seen it. I know people just say it's, obviously people are giving it a lot of praise, but I've not gone around to watching it. Maybe it's something at some point I will sit down. I think it's only, is it 5 seasons? So it's not exactly too long to watch, and I may give that a go at some point. Probably after I've caught up with some of the stuff I caught up with. And the Joker film, I didn't like the idea, but then I went to see it, and I think sometimes we've got to get out of our heads that, give things a go, because I think we surprise ourselves, and it's amazing actually how well the Joker film portrayed the character without pissing all over anything that's been done before. Excuse me. But yeah, there's a few things I definitely want to get around to watching, because obviously people are saying, Breaking Bad is one. I didn't finish the Boardwalk Empire, so I think I must go back to rewatch that again and hopefully get to the end of that, because I think I got to a point where I did struggle a little bit, and I think with the motivation to actually watching it, and I think sometimes I needed to take a step back, and I think I will go back and rewatch the stuff and hopefully then get to the end of the story, because it was the same with The Sopranos. When I first started that, I got to about series 3, and I was really struggling to sort of like find the motivation to watch the next episodes. But when I last did the run through recently, I found I was actually enjoying them more this time. I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I kind of like appreciate it more, and I think the thing, that's it. Sometimes when you watch something the first time and you're younger, you just think, no, this isn't for me. But sometimes it's worth giving it another go, because you might have been in the wrong mood for it, and now when you rewatch it again, it's you have a whole different view of it. And I think certain things I really want to revisit that I wasn't so keen on the first time, and see how I feel now I'm older. And I think I'm going to definitely give Breaking Bad a go. I think I want to finish off a few things on Netflix first I'm going through. and then I will go back and start watching it. Because, like I said, I don't think it's long. I don't think it's that many episodes to go through. Because I think the seasons were quite short, and there's another thing I've been sort of recommended, the Sons of Anarchy, to maybe watch that at some point. Because again, I don't think they're overly that many episodes to muddle through, so I might like to give that a go at some point. I mean, if anyone's got any recommendations, drop them in the chat, and I'll give them a go and see what I think to them. Yeah, John Beffenel. That was the guy. I couldn't think what his name was, but yeah, he's in it. Ray Liotta's in it, and just about the actor who played Tony Soprano was in line for played the lead in it. Oh, yeah, because actually the guy was the lead in Boardwalk Empire. He turns up in season 3 or season 4. Because obviously Bassini, that's it. Bassini popped up in one of the seasons for a whole season. Because actually, I mean, the guy who played Tony Soprano, I mean, when you look back at his IMDb credits, he had a lot before he came to Tony Soprano, and even after he finished The Sopranos, he did obviously have quite a bit of work to do before his fatal heart attack. And it's a shame, really, because I would love to have seen him in so much stuff, because I think the guy was a good actor. I mean, he really portrayed Tony so well. But then again, I think the entire cast was well cast. Because obviously, I mean, I hated the character of Michael, but the guy who played Michael, I think, was such a good actor that you had that I really hate this person. And I think if you got an emotion towards a character, I think that shows how good that actor is. I mean, I loved Game of Thrones, and the guy who played Joffrey, I think he, again, was such a great actor that he portrayed that you absolutely hated that character. And it's a shame that he decided after Game of Thrones that he was going to give up acting, because I think he would have gone extremely far. So yeah, if anyone's got anything that they can sort of recommend TV wise, and I'll give it a go, because I know there is some good stuff out there that I've not got around to watching. Yeah, Christopher. Michael was the actor. Michael was the actor. Christopher was the character, and I couldn't stand Chris. I mean, he was one of those people you're thinking, why haven't you been bumped off yet? Because he was such an annoying little shit. And the thing is, again, the guy who played him, I just think he done such a brilliant role that every time you saw him on the street, every time you saw him on the screen, he's just like, oh God, I really can't stand this guy. He's such an arsehole, But again, I think it's because the guy did such a good job. And it was the same with the rest of the cast. Every single one of them in that cast, where they were minor characters, medium characters, and... Oh, hi, Hatman. Hope you're well. Got myself a beer. And yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? If you've got a good actor or an actress that actually plays a part so well that you have that emotion that I can't stand that person, or I love that person, that means that person, that actor or actress, has done that job. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, some of the stuff we are getting today, I mean, the production values are amazing. It's like you're watching a mini movie. Okay, so you all go into my creepy basement with me right now. I made a water down there, Daddy. I got back. Oh dear. I hope things are okay there, Summer. And it's not even Halloween yet, and it already got the spooky faces. And I think that's the thing, is that it is that beauty of how brilliant TV and film are, that you've got the actors and actresses that are doing that kind of brilliant roles, that you end up having that, oh, I can't wait for that person to get killed off, because they are, they are just horrible. Oh, just dig a hole into it, someone let the hellfire dry out. Well, Hatman, I think you should help her out with the hellfires there, you know, and dry out a basement. I'm glad to see that you're back up and running again, Hatman, after YouTube's deciding to silence you for a week. I think totally that was actually unfair of them, but I think that's YouTube being. I'm not going to say this publicly how I feel, you know, but and I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's a case of I think some of the rules that YouTube give you is like, I mean, I've actually, one of my videos recently, I got a little email that said, oh, due to the fact that we've reviewed your video and we decided it's going to be adults only. It's like, this video's been on my channel for like 2 to 3 years, and all of a sudden now you're going to make it's an 18+ video. Huh? I mean, I just don't get them at times. I really don't. And I mean, your stream being taken down, I mean, was ridiculous. I mean, there was nothing in your stream that actually warranted them to actually take that down and give you a ban on. I mean, that was ridiculous. Because one thing I noticed with YouTube is that, let's say you've done something wrong, and you know you've done nothing wrong, so you go, I'm going to appeal this. And they go, right, okay, right, because you've actually had the audacity to appeal, we're now going to give you a strike. It's like, really? I mean, come on. I mean, the thing is, all of our content, I mean, yours included, all of us just put not for kids. So it's obvious that all the stuff that we're doing isn't viable for the children to watch anyway. So it shouldn't be shown to children. So I mean, I just think some of the rules sometimes is ridiculous, and you know, I think that's social media in a nutshell. I mean, how many times I've been banned? Actually, I've been put in Facebook jail because, I mean, yes, okay, I have said some. Obviously, I've dropped the C-bomb occasionally, but I've also said lesser swear words. And it goes, wrong. No, you got 24 jail time for that. And you're thinking, but I only said crap. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just coming at nanny state on certain social medias now that you actually got to be just so careful. I mean, but kids fall off his bike and while you're engaging children, really, I didn't throw the little. Yeah. I mean, I just think some of the stuff. I think just some of the stuff is ridiculous, you know. And the thing is, I mean, you do your stuff from 9 PM onwards, so it's obviously it's an adult stream. You put not for kids, and it's the same with me. Tonight I've obviously put this as not for kids, so if I do inadvertently swear or whatever, it's because at the end of the day, my stuff has never been geared towards kids, and I've always said that, you know, I've always put that it's not for kids, because especially in the old days, I used to swear in videos, you know, and obviously now I try to cut that out, but it's a case of nothing in my videos was ever aimed at a family market, because the thing is, that's not where I wanted to go. I didn't want to go down the family market thing because it didn't really interest me. You know, doing that catering, and I think if you put not for kids, surely that's enough to show that everything that you produce on your channel is for an age group of a certain age group, that and that's it, you know. So what I mean the stuff you put on your channel, you talk about, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not for children, and it's a case of, and to slap you with it's basically it's crossing the line of the community guidelines. Really, what guidelines are you actually breaking? I mean, you've already put it out that this is actually, you know, of a level that we can't have towards a certain age group. And you're right, Tim, it is PC gone mad. I mean, some of the social media, Facebook, Twitter now, is how many times you can actually get Facebook jailed or Twitter jailed for just some of the stuff that you may put down. Of course, now the adult frame, meaning you had to be logged in, also means you had to verify your age, credit card, or proof of. Yeah, I found that with one of the video that was flagged for adult thing. It said, "Oh, the only people that can actually view this are people that are signed in. Anyone else is it would not be viewed to." And thinking, yeah, that's where I'm thinking. In the old days, there were those sites that would say, "Oh, the only way you could go and see this would be verified with your credit card." Really? I don't trust those. And is that how YouTube's going to start going now? That you've got to verify your age with your credit card? You know, because to me, it's something I don't want to see. I don't want to see you. I don't know, can't even say it. I don't want to see this platform going down that route, but it seems to be that's how it seems to be going now. And it's the same now that they can shove adverts onto your channel, even if you're not monetized. But I don't see the revenue of said adverts, and I think again that's totally wrong. Ironically, really, it's harder to see videos on YouTube than Pornhub. Yeah, and actually, some people are being put in YouTube videos on Pornhub. What? Fuck. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I think that's the thing now. It's coming. I think it's becoming to a point where, you know, YouTube's not the same as it used to be. Obviously, I got into YouTube late. I mean, obviously, I've only been on the platform about 4 or 5 years, and it seemed it was a lot easier back then. Than it is now. I think some of the stuff now, I think they're making it harder for creators to actually make a footing on this platform, and it's irritating in some sense. I mean, obviously, I don't do YouTube for money. I mean, obviously, I don't earn any money, but I do it because I love doing it. But they just make it so hard for you to actually produce videos and get seen now, because they're actually this, well, we're not going to actually put you to X, Y, and Z because of what your stuff is. And I'm thinking, but I don't want to do family stuff just for the sake of doing family stuff, because I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable doing stuff aimed for kids. I want to do stuff that I want to talk about. At least Trump doesn't have. Yeah, well, in some sense, do you know what? Actually, I'm going to say, I never thought I was actually going to would say this, but I kind of missed his tweets, because at least you can guarantee that even though they were shit, you can guarantee that you could have a laugh with them, at them, and obviously use them for footage. Now it's finding people actually now you can talk about. Now that he's buggered off, and obviously there's a few other people now that you think, oh, I really wish I could basically actually mock them, you know. You know, I mean, obviously, I mean, he was a crap leader, but I mean, at least the tweets did give you value for money for entertainment-wise, if nothing else. But obviously, his fans still think he's going to come back into the White House. I mean, we haven't had the next due date yet, though, because obviously I think the last date was meant to be in August, that he was meant to go back in the White House. We still haven't seen when the next date's going to be, that he's going to go back into the White House. Probably January would be the probably next official date when they get their asses out of gear. Yeah, and even now the Trump fans still think he's coming back. You know, it's not over yet. Yeah, fuck off. He's lost. Get over it. But yeah, I mean, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and a few of the other social media ones I couldn't think of the top of my head, they're all just getting to a point where now you just say the wrong thing, and it's like, boom, you've been jailed for 24 hours or a week or whatever, and it's ridiculous. I mean, some of the stuff you are now blocked for, you know, temporarily, you know, blocked for, it's ridiculous. And all it is someone actually can report your tweet, and before you know it, if you had too many reports, bang, you put in you can't post jail for like a couple of days. And I think myself, you know, it is ridiculous. Now it is coming a nanny state on social media, you know. And like I said, I think in the old days it was so much easier to put stuff up. I mean, yes, obviously you can't cross the line. I mean, even I wouldn't cross my line on certain things. I mean, I wouldn't do a Jared Genesis where he sort of like tried to stream porn to like get someone else shut down. I mean, that's something you don't do. But I mean, obviously, you got to use your common sense. But I mean, some of the rules that they're coming up with now, it is getting ridiculous, and it is getting very harder for creators, you know, without being slapped on. Like I said, I mean, I've had one or two of me videos that are now basically are adults only, and it's like, really? I mean, that video that they put that adults only on, it was like the pranks one where I was reacting to prank videos. I mean, it's not like people were having Tide Pods or anything. I mean, come on, YouTube. I mean, use a bit of common sense. And I think that's the trouble now. I think common sense has gone out the window when it comes to social media. You know. And I think that's the thing that's always bugged me. It's a case of I mean, I've seen some stuff on YouTube that I just think should be banned. I mean, and you flag it and say, look, this isn't right. You know, I mean, some of the stuff you covered, you know, it's like these people definitely need taken down, and yet they're still up, or they take them months before they're taken down. I mean, obviously, some of our old enemies, you know, it's a case of how long did it take for some of their stuff to actually get taken off the system, or their channels got banned. It's clearly, I mean, that their stuff was breaking the rules, you know. And yeah, if one of us put something up, bang, we're flagged. We get you know, a jail for a week or whatever. And I think that's the thing that's always annoyed me about YouTube is they do seem to, you know, favour certain people and not favour other people, you know. So what's happening in your world? And Hatman, hope now that you're back out of jail again, you'll be producing more videos or maybe doing a live stream this week. That I do in my car from occasionally super chat. Yeah, because actually, I see that you've got yourself a second channel in case obviously this shit kind of thing happens again. You know, and because I'm assuming you're also live streaming via that, obviously on a basis. So yeah, it'd be good to see you back on your main channel on the stream again. I think actually it's something I think before obviously getting the fibre, I never really considered doing streaming, but I think it's something I might start doing a little bit more regularly now. And I'm not sure what day I'll pick or whatever, but yeah, definitely be something I definitely like to do. Obviously, I think I'll have more of a plan next time than just sit here and just have the first thing that comes out of my gob kind of thing. But no, it's just nice to sometimes I think chill back and have a little chat with people and so forth. And yeah, it's good to have you back. Yeah, what I'll do now is stream to the main channel as usual. If there's not anything potentially questionable, I'll private it and shove it on second. Yeah, I think sometimes you've got to play it safe now because obviously with circumstances. But I think I'm going to have to definitely think where I want to go next with the stuff I'm doing, because even though I've got some ideas, I don't know what to do with them. I mean, I've got to probably sit down and rewrite something tomorrow and whatever. But yeah, it's definitely good to see you back again, because I think the thing is, I mean, that I thought was ridiculous. I mean, I obviously woke up Saturday morning, went on Twitter, and I saw your the tweets that you posted, and I was like, what? Really? Plus, I've got to see two hosting my stuff. Tiny by conspiracy, but it's free. It's a little bit more flexible with hosting more mature content. Yeah, it's actually good that you've actually got someone that actually is sort of like plugging this stuff out there, which hopefully then will come back to your channel, which is always nice. But yeah, it's as I see now you're streaming twice a week, the Friday and the Saturday, or was before obviously the band coming on. How's that kind of working out for you? Because obviously you had the monopoly with the Friday, and I'm assuming the Saturday's just as easy, just to set something up for yourself. But yeah, my original plan for this was I was going to do the background of my news channel, but I thought I'll settle with the pub view as the little background, and it's got a nice little background. It's like sort of like getting used to this obviously this system, the Steam Labs system. But yeah, it's not as difficult as I thought it was going to be, but obviously just getting my head around it really. And obviously did a couple of tests to see how the setup was, and I did also watch some tutorials just to see how I obviously get things set up correctly before I did a proper stream tonight. But yeah, it's depends on the week. Friday is the main one. If there's a lot of stuff going on, I might fire up a Saturday one too. Plan is meant to be YouTube Saturday stream, Friday Twitch game. So, yeah, because I during the week of last week, because I had a week off, I did a Twitch stream just to see how stable my fibre was, and I noticed I was quite stable. So I thought to myself, what I might do is do a bit more streaming via Twitch as well, obviously the gaming stuff, and then obviously have a sit down chat one day a week, maybe do a weekend, maybe do an early Saturday evening. Is that your local in the background? No, it's not my local. Actually, my local is a nice little pub in the town that I work in, called the Ale House in Chelmsford, and they do some really, really nice beers in there. No, I just found this place actually on back. Oh, bloody adverts! Bugger. Hang on a second, I'm just going to sort that out. Right. That's the only thing of running some background music, and it turns out to be a YouTube channel. Thanks for keeping me company in the dark dungeon. I hope it went all right down there, Summer. Right, okay, now that's back. Yeah, things to remember. Try to actually sort out music that's not got an advert in it. And what was I saying? I mean that would be nice to be my pub, but no, I do have a nice little local that actually does some really nice real ales beer. But no, I found that background on the internet, and it's actually nice to actually use as part of the stream. And actually, I just lost the chat. Hope it wasn't too scary down there in the dungeon. Hope your victims are doing okay down there and they're still alive. So yeah, I did a little Twitch stream just to see how stable my internet was, and it was quite surprising how stable it was. And I thought that was one reason why I decided I was going to do the stream tonight, because I knew now that I had a stable internet without it dropping every 5 minutes. I thought to myself, yeah, maybe I should start doing a little bit more sort of chatty stuff, and like I said, and then do some gaming stuff and pick up following on Twitch for anything I want to go down there. And it won't hurt me just sort of like shoving that on for an hour. I probably don't even have to chat. I can have that on, you know, have the Twitch stream going whilst I'm just doing what I'm doing. We can't discuss my victim. Okay, won't say anything in future. And yeah, it's maybe something I am definitely looking forward to. Just need to sew my arm back together. Yeah, it's something I'm thinking about doing. Maybe do some more sort of like do it that way, because obviously I've got the PlayStation, so I can sort of live broadcast. And if I go down the Twitch way, and then I use this to kind of like talk during the week when I've not got a video going. Because obviously what I tend now is getting to that routine that I'll come home, script something, and then film something, and then obviously upload something. So in those days I'm not doing those things, maybe then actually just have a a live stream once in a while. You know, maybe not midweek, maybe next time I'll do a Saturday evening or a Sunday evening, depending on what's going on. Because obviously, doing something like around about sort of 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I've got more chance of actually picking up my, obviously, international sort of like fans like summer, and at the same time the UK people, it's not too late for them as well, you know. And yeah, so I think it was an interesting little experiment on Twitch last week, and then obviously an experiment today how it was going to go. And obviously in future, maybe I'll have a little bit more of a plan of stuff I want to do. I mean, obviously I did write down little sort of bullet points what I may want to talk about, but I think now it's just whatever's coming out of my gob is, I think we can all benefit from hearing more of the word according to MrG. Well, I don't have a word. I think I do all the religious stuff is really down to other people. Actually, speaking of some religious stuff, actually I did find this guy on, hang on, let's see if I can sort this out. This guy, actually, I wanted to show you because I was thinking about actually doing a little chat on him. So bear with me a second. Some of his stuff I just thought was bloody crazy, and this guy I definitely want to do a video on. If I can find it, which one it was.
Yeah, I've heard this my whole life, that the Bible doesn't talk about dinosaurs, so therefore, do the dinosaurs not exist according to the Bible? Does that prove the Bible wrong because it doesn't mention dinosaurs? Well, here's the thing. The Bible doesn't mention tons of things. It doesn't mention the internet. It doesn't mention World War I or II. It doesn't mention nuclear weaponry. It doesn't mention the Titanic sinking. It doesn't mention the Ice Age. It doesn't mention all kinds of things. That does not mean that the Bible is wrong. This Bible is a very specific story about the creation of everything, the beginning, all the way through the end, and how God is going to redeem this fallen world. Now, that does not cover every single thing. In fact, the Bible even says the world could not contain the books of all the things that God has done. So, therefore, no, of course it doesn't talk about dinosaurs. But number two, the big thing here is that no ancient culture talks about dinosaurs because that word wasn't even invented until the 1800s. So when you look at any ancient text, any ancient culture, anything, nobody talks about dinosaurs until it happened after the late 1800s when the word finally existed. However, the Bible does talk about dragons. In fact, most people that are like, oh, dragons never existed. Well, there's lots of evidence of ancient cultures having writings, drawings.
So yeah, I want to do a piece on this guy because this guy is a complete nut job. I mean, don't go. I'm not against Christian people at all, but that guy. I mean, some of the things he comes out with is like he actually thinks that the what's he said? The evidence for Noah's Ark is fossils, and I said to him in his comments, so you actually think that dinosaurs and man existed at the same time? And he went, yeah, they did. It's like, we know they didn't and there's evidence that they didn't because of the fossil record. But no, and then I said, how old do you think the Earth is? He said, oh, it's less than 10,000 years old. If it was 4 billion years, as they reckon, the moon would be inside the Earth. It's like, really? And yeah, so I want to do a video on him. I want to do a video on some of the flat earthers I found on TikTok. So that's a couple of my plans that I tend to obviously do over the next upcoming weeks. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how those kind of things go. But there's some strange people out on the internet. I mean, TikTok. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I did TikTok for a while. Probably will go back to doing TikTok again. Same reason why I didn't sort of update on YouTube. But there are definitely 100% strange creators in there. I think I know why Titanic isn't in the Bible, but the Bible wasn't written before. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff he comes out with. Yeah, I'm going to do a whole video on him. He is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah, dinosaurs men exist together. I get we have chickens. Yes, I know that. But at the end of the day, the dinosaurs that we obviously Tyrannosaurus Rex and all that lot, we know that there was no way the human beings were on the planet at the same time as those big motherfuckers. And some of the stuff he comes out with, it's just like, really? I mean, no. I mean, I'm not. No, you're right. I mean, tech we love. I mean, I'm not actually I would never ever put all Christians are the same as that person. I mean, I got friends who are Christians, and they're not thinking that the whole world's done in 6 days and the whole world is flat, etc., etc. I mean, at the end of the day, there are many very obviously levels of Christianity, and you do get those kind of Christians that just literally believe that everything written in the Bible is as is, and it's like, no, I mean, come on. I mean, we've got the evidence of how old the Earth is and so forth. So no, I mean, there's no way I would bushwhack everyone into the same group, because I know that's not the case. But there are some of these Christians, some of these hardcore Christians. You know, you do think, what the hell is going on in your brain? You know. And you're right, they do give true Christians a bad name, because some of the stuff especially some of the American stuff the American Christians, I mean, some of their stuff they come out with, you just think, what? You know, and I actually, I mean, you're talking about the flat earthers tech. I mean, seeing some of the flat earther videos on TikTok is when when you say to them about, because apparently they say there's a dome that's covering the earth, the firmament, and I say, well, what's your evidence then of this firmament? It's in the Bible. The Bible writes about it in Genesis. It's like, yeah, and how reliable is the Bible for evidence of, you know, proving that we got a dome? You know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, some of the stuff. I mean, some of the stuff they come out with is just mind blowing. And like I said, I'd want to do a video about them at some point, because it's some of the things I wanted to cover, but I never got round to doing it. And it's people like the flat earthers and people like Adam that I want to cover in the future. So it's something I'm going to try and sit down tomorrow and maybe do a little script about on Adam stuff, because yeah, some of the stuff he comes out with is just crazy. I mean the thing is, it's when I keep banging on about, oh, everything produced by NASA is CGI. Yeah, the moon landings were CGI. You do know that the level of CGI in the 60s was the level of Star Trek. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the cats would have pushed everything off the Earth by now. You know. But no, it's some of their logical arguments that they come up with is why they think that the Earth is flat is just, you know, it's ridiculous. But no, it's this. I think there's something I've got to get my head together and come down with a plan of things I do want to talk about. I mean, obviously I've done a couple of videos on Favour now, and I don't really want to cover her madness anymore, because I think so many brain cells just died, obviously, looking at her stuff. Well, we do have an atmosphere, and that's a dome. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously we have a dome, the atmosphere dome, but to call it an actual solid, this is a solid firmament. I mean, that's just like ridiculous, you know. I mean, some of the things that they come out with is ridiculous, and you know, at the end of the day, if you got belief, that's fine. But I mean, some of the stuff that they believe is just like, it's crazy. I think, well, Adam, as you know, Michelle, unfortunately does fall into that category of definitely hardcore creationists, you know, and some of the stuff they come out with, you know, you got the evidence that the Earth is definitely more than 10,000 years old, but no, they won't have it, you know. But no, I think the thing is, yes, I definitely want to cover a few more subjects that I haven't got round to doing yet, and I think as my channel is growing a little bit, I think there's certain people and subjects I do want to start covering more. So that's something obviously to look forward to in the future. Excuse me. So yeah, I think really, I mean, obviously with what Hatman's doing, I kind of obviously want to. Obviously, if we can, maybe occasional sort of interlace with each other. But obviously, he's got his stuff, I've got my stuff, but I think definitely, I think we'll definitely have to cover some of the crazy people that I've seen definitely over the last few months on via TikTok and on YouTube. And I think and especially now, kind of getting that motivation to actually do some stuff again, is that I definitely would like to see myself doing certain subjects that I normally wouldn't have even considered. Sort of picking back in the old days. I mean, obviously, I should have done a flat Earth video, but I never got around to doing it. And I think now, obviously, seeing some of the stuff on TikTok, I can think it's a perfect time, because their stuff is literally just so funny. When I say funny, not definitely funny, ha ha. It's definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's another one. It's like, oh, the Holocaust didn't take place. It's like, really? Like, you're actually going to deny that this actually happened, even though this footage of this actually happened? It's like, I mean, so I tell you something. There's the more information we got on the internet, the more stupid people seem to be coming. I mean, it's like, oh, that's a hoax. It's like, really? And your evidence for this is what? It's just some of the conspiracy stuff. I just think is sort of like, is that out there definitely whack job crazy. I mean, don't get wrong, I'm not saying that I don't trust the government. Of course I don't trust the government, but some of the stuff that they claim that the government is doing is just ridiculous. Oh. So, and yeah, if anyone's got any suggestions of stuff they would like to see me cover, drop me a comment in one of my videos, and I'll definitely look into it. Because, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, it's your channel as well as mine. Stuff that you want to see me cover, of all my take on some of the stuff out there. It'd be interesting to see what you want me to cover instead of me just forcing my stuff onto you. Right, I'm gonna call this stream a night now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. It was nice to see you, and thanks for supporting my first proper sit down with a beer stream. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care, and see you later.